Hello everyone, this is Pickle from Curious Creatures. Trying to get over the sound of my own voice by doing a cage tour. The first cage tour I have done. Not much of a public speaker, so bear with me. These are my button quails. As you can see, they live indoors. They're actually one of two cages of button quails. I also have Widget. you can see him there, perched on his lookout point. Him and his family. We'll cover them in another video. These are the original four, as I call them. They're kind of hiding, as they like to do. We've got the two silvers. They're the males, and this speckly one, and this dark brown one who is hiding behind the tree. I'm sure you'll see her in a minute. That's the other hen. Yeah, so button quails are great to keep indoors. They're quiet and clean, and no different from keeping hamsters or rats. They're very small, about 4 to 5 inches long. Very cute, very crazy. Yeah, very good fun. This is an indoor rabbit cage. It's about 100 centimeters in length and 50 centimeters in width, and they really like it here. It's a good space for them. Yeah, so what shall we start with? Yeah, so in terms of cleaning, once a week I take the quails out, which they hate. These are, generally speaking, hands-off birds, like canaries and finches. They don't know being handled at all, with the exception of Widget, who was like an only child raised by humans, so he became hand tamed. But for the most part, these are watch only birds, although they will eat out of your hand, which is nice, and they certainly will come and say hello and things like that. They just prefer that you didn't pick them up. But for cleaning out the cage, I have to, and they just have to deal with it. They hate it, but as soon as they get back in the cage, which I've just cleaned out today, that they are so happy. They love getting fresh hay and fresh sand and all of that. So at the end of the day, it all turns out fine. Yeah, I take all the stuff out. I tip all the substrate away. I take it outside. I hose it down. And I bring it back in. I dry it off and fill it with fresh substrate, which is just plain pine shavings, which are great, and cheap, and smell good, and absorb all the moisture, and they love foraging through it and bathing in it, so it's just perfect for them. Yeah, so that's cleaning. Yeah, so let's have a look at the other stuff in there. So we've got the shadows out of the way. We've got just some hay in the corner. It's just something different for them. They love to make nests in it and lay their eggs in it, and they sleep in it sometimes. And as you can see, one of the hens was so happy to get fresh hay that she immediately went and laid her egg in there. And yeah, they will lay an egg a day, so I get 2 eggs. Well, actually 3 eggs a day, because we've got Gimpy's mate up there. They're great to eat. They're bigger than you'd think. Obviously a bit smaller than regular quail's eggs, but I've read that for their size, button quails lay one of the largest eggs of any bird. So yeah, they are surprisingly large, and they're very tasty. So yeah, that's a cool factor of having button quails. Small but good eggs, gourmet eggs. And we've got a couple of like fake plants. It's like a grassy thing, which is a huge pain to clean. But they really like it. It does a good job of keeping the hay in that corner as well. And this tree, which they love. Button quails love to have foliage to you know, hide under. It makes them a lot less stress and a lot more happy. As you can see, they tend to stick to it quite a lot and run behind it, then kind of pop out and then pop back under it. It really does make a difference having stuff like this. We've got a food bowl. This is their main food, but by no means their only food. They also get fresh vegetables daily. They get seed, which I'll get to in a minute, millet seed. They get live mealworms from crickets occasionally as well. But this is Haygate's game bird pellets, and that's their kind of their main staple food, which they will eat all of after the more interesting foods are gone. In the corner we've got this is actually technically a Parrot Toy. It's like a foraging bag. It's full of coloured paper and stuff. But what I do is I put a millet spray in there in the front, so they can get a lot of it, but not all of it at once. And this is their favourite thing. They peck through the holes to get at the seed, and they get so excited every morning when I when I come down to fill it up. They really enjoy that. We've got, this is their water supply. This is I think 0.7 litre fountain. It's really good. It means that they always have clean water available. I don't have to worry about constantly filling it up or that they'll run out or anything like that. This is the smallest one that they do that is made for poultry, as far as I'm aware, but it's a good size for them. It doesn't take up too much room, as you can see. I've put glass beads. No. Hey. I put glass beads in there just simply to raise the water level up a bit. Otherwise, it's a bit you know, not much in there. At the moment, I've got it sitting on top of this pot just to raise it above the bedding, because otherwise it will very quickly get filled up with shavings, and obviously it'll just keep soaking up and they won't actually have any water, and that's not good. So yeah, I raise it up. This is an ideal. They do tip it over occasionally, which is a real pain because then I have to change them out. Hi. Yeah, but you can get ones on tripod legs. I do definitely want to get one of those at some point. And we've got here, it's like a grass tube. It came from Pets at Home, technically for small animals, but they love it, and they love to, the hens lay their eggs in there sometimes. It's often their first place that they'll run to cover if they're feeling a bit jumpy, which is often. And in the corner, the tunnel leads to the underneath of this. Was technically a chinchilla box, again from Pets at Home. This is great because it's on stilts, so they can crawl underneath it as well as go inside it and on top of it. They tend to go underneath it more than inside it, but they will go inside it. I have found eggs in there sometimes, but yeah, they do seem to enjoy sort of scrabbling around underneath it. And if there's a disagreement between the two males, one of them will often like hop up onto here just to get some time to himself, and that's good for them. We've got a shelf in the corner here. They don't jump on. They don't really use this. They don't get on top of it, so that's why I haven't bothered to put anything on it. However, it does mean that they now will go to this corner of the cage, because before they would just stick to the covered areas over here. They would never go over here. But now they'll go over here, and they'll be happy to use their sand bath, which is just a little plastic box with I'm trying to get it to focus here. Sorry for all the shadows. Yeah, it's just got some sand in it. See if I can find the sand. The sand is just the stuff from Pets at Home. As well as sand, it's got tons of crushed oyster shell in it, which is great. That the hens particularly need a lot of calcium for the egg laying. Particularly if they're living indoors and they're laying eggs like out of season, they need to have plenty of calcium to keep them healthy. And this is a great way to supply them with that. I also add extra to their food bowl as well. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so I've kind of been gradually adding to this, but yeah, I think I've pretty much perfected it now. Kind of a good balance of things to interact with and open space. Yeah, and then they seem to really like the things that I put in for them. Yeah, so yeah, well, I hope this helps anyone out who's like thinking of keeping button quails indoors. If you can provide them a cage this large or larger, that's good for them. Yeah, by no means like the only or best way of doing things, but I found that they seem very happy and healthy. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it wasn't too much of a mess. I will soon bring you a cage tour for Widget and his family. Yeah, so there you go. Little quails running around, being cute. Just a quick add-on. Show you giving them some mealworms. Yeah, so they really do. They do get to know you, and then they will trust you enough to take food from your hand. Because I found that they definitely do recognize the people who take care of them, because they won't actually do this with anyone else. I've had people around and say, "Oh, give them some worms," and they just won't come anywhere near. So, they definitely do recognize their owners as individuals, which is pretty impressive. Because these are most certainly not parrots. All gone. He's trying to pull the pen over there. And back into hiding again. Well, that's it, guys.